Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a little while since I posted anything, but today I want to talk to you about a little bit about a log skidder, and especially the winch on these, on like a 225 or 230 or any of them that have the Hercules winch on them. And a problem that, well, I've ran into multiple times on different skidders is trying to get your winch to actually pull as hard as what it should. Lots of times it'll pull up and it'll pull the cable tight, and right when it really gets a hard pull on it, it seems like it starts slipping the clutches, which is actually what it's doing. But I mean, if you've done work on them before and you're still having problems, there's one thing that a mechanic that, well, he's worked on a lot of skidders around this area, he finally figured out that even when you put brand new clutches in, I mean, if you've went through and you've checked, but like this one is an old clutch here and it's got a break in it. I mean, if you've went through and tried everything and you replaced all the stuff in there and make sure you don't have any leaks or anything like that, and your winch still just won't pull like you think it should, you know, pulls up, get a hard pull, stalls out, best thing you can do, I know it stinks to have to take it back apart, but even with brand new clutches in there, you can still run into a problem with them slipping. And he found out that if you actually bead blast your clutches first and get just a little more friction on there, that they will pull incredible. We have two old 225s, both with the Hercules or Eaton winch, you know, whatever you want to call it, but and they both will pull better than they ever have before. After doing this and bead blasting those clutches, it can just make a huge difference. I mean, if you're having, well, that particular problem, that's one thing I would highly recommend you do. Take it apart, have those clutches bead blasted, put them back in. Like I said, if you don't have any leaks or anything like that, getting oil on them, that's where I would shoot for, because we tried everything before that. We tried, you know, checking the pressures, making sure we had the pressures right, checking this, that, and the other. And the next thing I want to talk to you about in this same video is this little guy right here, this cylinder that, well, kicks everything in and out, puts pressure on your, you know, it makes the winch essentially work and kicks in the brake bands and all that stuff. And I see a lot of people that have to flat drag logs or something like that, because, you know, you pull it up, as soon as you let off the lever, it drops it back down because it ain't engaging your brake quick enough. And what he found out and what he told me is that, and it actually works, both these, you pull it all the way up, as soon as you let off the handle, it stops where it's supposed to, put it down, it free spools easy. Is that on your travel on this, on your up and down, when you got it in this arm, you can take and you can measure that, because it has adjustable nuts on the top and on the bottom side down here, so you can adjust this up and down and get it to where essentially you get your winch in time to where when you let off the handle, it engages the brakes band on it immediately and stops it right where you want it. And I think that if you measure this whenever you go from extended to retracted, you need about 9/16 of an inch of movement up and down on it to get it in time to where it will stop immediately whenever you let off the handle up there. And just those two simple things have totally changed how the winch works on these old 225s. Like I said, 225, 230, all these old log skidders. And it's, I don't know, just a little tip that I wanted to give you guys to try, because like I said, it has totally changed the operation of the winches on these things. And I hope that, you know, it can help you along the way too. Like I said, adjust this cylinder here, like I said, 9/16 inches of travel from up to down, you know, to get it in time to where when you let off of it, it stops immediately and it grabs, and it doesn't allow your cable to fall down to the ground. Because before, we just kind of willy-nilly kind of adjusted this way and that way, you know, and you'd get it to where it would hold when you got up to the top, but then you'd release it and you couldn't pull the cable out because it's still engaging the brake band a little bit or what have you, you know. It was just a pain in the butt. But after those two things, like I said, bead blast these before you ever put them in, and check that, and I think it can turn your winching around. You know, it can change your life, to say the least. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.